right, so to get started with this project, I do have a bunch of scrap yarn left over from baby mandala projects, and I've got them all separated by color. It's just something I typically do when I'm done with projects. And so to get started with this project, I am using a number 3 weight yarn, and I have a 5mm hook here. I have some scissors, a darning needle, and then I have a 2-inch wooden craft ring. And I will put down in the comments how many grams per round you're gonna need, because this is ultimately a scrap project mandala. However, you could do it from start to finish in the same skein of yarn. So to get started with round 1, I am going to be doing a slip knot to attach my hook to my yarn. And I'm going to be taking my wooden ring. And if you've not done a mandala with me yet, what I do is I start with my yarn in front of my 2-inch hook. And I'm going to be pulling my yarn as a slip stitch through my slip knot, okay? Chain 1, and now you're going to do a double crochet. Now I double crochet over my tail around this hook as much as I can. So we're going to be doing a double crochet, and you're actually going to put 36 double crochets around this ring. I typically, about every 5 or 6 double crochets, will slide them closer together so that I get a tighter look. Make sure that you are having a pretty tight double crochet around this ring, but round 1 is going to be 36 double crochets around the wooden ring. Okay. Moving on to round 2, I am going to be slip stitching into both loops of the top of my first double crochet. Okay. I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to put a double crochet back into that same space. So you're going to chain 1 and put a double crochet into the next double crochet. And you're going to repeat that all the way around. Chain 1, double crochet into the top of the previous round's double crochet. At the end of this round, you're going to have 36 double crochets and 36 chain spaces. Moving on to round 3, I just finished my last double crochet, chain 1, and I'm going to slip stitch into the top of that first double crochet. And so now what you're going to do is actually slip stitch into the chain space, chain up 2, and then you're going to yarn over and do a puff stitch. So pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all of those loops. And that's going to make your puff stitch. Chain 1. And you're going to do a puff stitch like that in every single one of your chain spaces. So yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, go into your space, pull up your loop a second time, yarn over, pull up a loop a third time, yarn over, and pull through all of those loops. Chain 1. And repeat that all the way around. Let's do it one more time together. Yarn over, go into that chain space, pull up a loop, yarn over a second time, pull up a loop, yarn over that third time, pull up that third loop, yarn over, pull through all of those loops. All right, and then chain 1 to close it. So at the end of this, you're going to have 36 puff stitches, which technically also have 36 chain spaces, but I don't ever count the chain spaces. So finish up this round with your 36 puff stitches. Moving on to round 4. I've finished up here with my puff stitch, chain 1, and I'm going to go into the top of that very first puff stitch. Okay, and slip stitch. Now I'm going to chain 1, and for this round, we're going to be doing front post double crochets around our puff stitch. So yarn over, go behind that puff stitch, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And then you're going to be putting 2 double crochets around that chain space. So 1 and 2. Now you can see where my baby mandala yarn has started to change colors from one palette to the other. That doesn't really bother me. If it bothers you, I would recommend shifting colors as you want to, but again, like I said, I've put down in the comments for you how many yards you're going to need per row. For me, I don't really matter. This doesn't really matter to me, but let's go ahead and do this bit together. So yarn over, you're going to do a front post double crochet around that puff stitch. Then you're going to do 2 double crochets in the chain space. Okay. Oop. And you're going to repeat that all the way around. A front post double crochet around your puff stitches and 2 double crochets in the chain spaces. At the end of round 4, you're going to have 36 front post double crochets and 72 double crochets. I am going to fasten off at the end of round 4 and move into a different color. Moving on to round 5, I've already fastened off with my yellow, and I've got my hook in the top of my first front post double crochet. I'm going to grab my next color, which I'm working with lime, the lime green color from the baby mandalas. Okay, I'm going to hold that spot and I'm going to chain 1. Okay, now I'm going to hold both of my tails back here kind of tight, and we're going to be doing 2 front post double crochets around this front post double crochet. So yarn over, go behind it, pull up your loop, and do 1 of those front post doubles. Okay, do another front post double crochet around that same one. Okay, now you're going to be doing 2 double crochets. You're going to do 1 into the top of each one of those double crochets in the chain space. Okay. Ooh, let me pull my yarn. A little tight on my cake that I rolled. So the first double crochet and your second double crochet. So let's do that together again. So around this front post double crochet, we're going to be doing 2 front post double crochets. Okay, so 1 and 2. And then do double crochets into the top of both of those next double crochets. And you're going to repeat that all the way around, where you have 2 front post double crochets around your previous round's front post double crochets, and you have double crochets into both of those double crochets from the previous round that go around that chain space. At the end of round 5, you're going to have 72 front post double crochets and 72 double crochets. Moving on to round 6, I'm going to be slip stitching into the first of those front post double crochets. Okay, and we're going to chain 1. Now you're going to be doing front post double crochets around both of these front post double crochets. Okay, so yarn over, go behind both of those, and pull up your loop. Complete that front post double crochet. Okay, now you're going to skip this hidden double crochet and chain 1. Do a double crochet into the second double crochet. And then you're going to be doing the repeat, where you do a front post double crochet around both front post double crochets, chain 1, skip the first double crochet and go into the second one. All right, repeat that all the way around. Let's do it one more time together. So do a front post double crochet around both front post double crochets, chain 1, skip the first double crochet and go into the second double crochet. So at the end of this round, you're going to have 36 front post double crochets, 36 double crochets, and 36 chain spaces. Moving on to round 7, you are going to be slip stitching into the top of the front post double crochet. Make sure that you're skipping over that chain space that started the round and picking up the V-stitch at the top of the front post double crochet. So go ahead and chain 1, and you're going to be doing a front post double crochet around both your double crochet and your front post double crochet. Okay, so yarn over and go behind both of those, and then you're going to complete that front post double crochet. Okay, now we're going to be putting 3 half double crochets in the chain space. This is going to start your repeat. So do 1, 2, and 3. Do a front post double crochet around the double crochet and the front post double crochet, and then do your 3 half double crochets into the chain space. So you're going to repeat that all the way around. Front post double crochet around these 2 stitches and 3 half double crochets into your chain space. At the end of this round, you're going to have 108 half double crochets and 36 front post double crochets. All right, moving on to round 8. This is going to be a pretty easy round. I did fasten off, and I'm going to switch to my next color. Again, you don't have to switch when I'm switching. So I am going to go ahead and pick up my tail. I'm going to chain 1. And for this round, we're going to be putting double crochets into the top of each out of our stitches. So just yarn over and go back into that same space, pull up, oop, I missed it. Oh goodness, okay. So yarn over, go back into that same space, okay? And I am going to double crochet over both of my tails, just to make things a little bit easier, okay? And then you'll do double crochets into the top of all 3 of your half double crochets. And at the end of this round, you're going to have 144 double crochets, okay? So do this last half double crochet together, and then I will meet you at the end. Moving on to round 9. Okay. So I'm going to slip stitch into the top of that very first double crochet. I'm going to chain 1 and put a double crochet back into that same space. Do 3 more double crochets. Okay, and this is where our repeat's going to start. You are going to be yarning over twice and dropping down into the previous row front post double crochet and pull up a loop. You're going to yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. Then you're going to do 4 double crochets, including the one behind that front post treble. So 1 double crochet, 2, 3, and 4. Let's do that one more time together. We're going to yarn over twice, drop down to the green row, pull up your front post double crochet, pull up your loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2 to complete that front post treble crochet. Then you're going to do 4 double crochets, and repeat that all the way around. You're going to put a front post treble crochet around 2 rows below, front post double crochet, and you're going to have 4 double crochets between each of those front post treble crochets. At the end of this round, you're going to have 36 front post trebles and 144 double crochets. Moving on to round 10, we are going to be slip stitching into the top of that very first double crochet, and I wound up ending round 9 with a front post treble crochet around that front post double crochet 2 rows below. So we're going to chain 1, and you're going to be putting a double crochet into the top of that same space that you slip stitched into. All right, you're going to do a double crochet into the next stitch, chain 1, and you're going to do 2 double crochets into the next 2 stitches. All right, and that's what it should look like. 2 double crochets, a chain 1, and 2 double crochets. Now you're going to be doing a front post treble around the front post treble crochet from the previous round. So let's repeat that together. You're going to do a double crochet, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, double crochet, and a front post treble crochet around the front post treble crochet from the previous round. And go ahead and repeat that all the way around. At the end of this round, you're going to have 144 double crochets, 36 chain spaces, and 36 front post trebles. Moving on to round 11, we are going to be slip stitching with a new color, unless you're staying in the same. Then don't bother with this part. I'm going to pick up my new colors yarn, and I'm going to chain 1. Okay, I'm going to do a half double crochet into that same space around my tails. Okay, we're going to do a half double crochet into the next double crochet. Again, I'm going to put them over my tails, and we're going to do 2 half double crochets into the chain space. 1 and 2. Put a half double crochet in the top of each of the next double crochets, and a front post double crochet around that front post treble. Okay. So let's do that again together. We're going to do a half double crochet into each of the top of the next 2 double crochets, and 2 half double crochets into the chain space. A half double crochet into the top of each of the next 2 double crochets for a total of 6 half double crochets. And we're going to do a front post double crochet around that front post treble. And that's going to complete your repeat. Do that all the way around, where you have half double, 2 half doubles around the chain space, half double, and a front post double crochet. At the end of round 11, you're going to have 216 half double crochets and 36 front post trebles. Moving into round 12, I am swapping colors to this pretty coral, and so just like the last round, I'm going to be slip stitching with that color through the top of my very first half double crochet in the previous round and my green loop. And so I'm going to go ahead and pick up this coral. I will be crocheting over my tails. Let me grab them real quick. And what we're going to be doing for round 12 is a front post double crochet around this front post double crochet. So chain 1 and pull that kind of tight. You're going to yarn over and go backwards into this front post double crochet. Complete that. Okay. Ooh. Pull too many loops over. All right, and so now we're going to skip a stitch, and we're going to do 2 double crochets into the second half double crochet. So 1 and 2. Okay. Then you're going to be doing a long double crochet into this chain space and around these 2 stitches here. I am going to drop my tails, so go into that chain space around those 2 half double crochets and complete a long double crochet where you pull up just a touch and pull through. Okay, then we're going to go into the second stitch before the front post double with 2 double crochets. Hold on, I split the yarn. 1 and 2. we're going to be skipping this half double crochet before the front post, and we're going to do a front post double crochet around that front post double crochet to start our repeat. Okay, so this round we are not going to be putting any stitches on the first or the last half double crochets of the 6 half double crochets here. You're going to be putting 2 double crochets in either side of the half double crochets in the chain space and a long double crochet around both of those half double crochets in the chain space. So after this front post double crochet, you're going to skip a stitch and do 2 double crochets into the second half double. Then you're going to do a long double crochet around both of those half double crochets into the chain space. Do 2 double crochets into the half double crochet after the half double crochets in that chain space. Skip the last half double and then go back into your repeat and do that all the way around. Let's do it one more time together. A front post double around the front post double, skip the first half double, go into the second half double with 2 double crochets, do a long double crochet into the chain space 2 rows below, and do 2 double crochets into the 5th half double crochet of those 6. Skip the 6th half double crochet and begin your repeat again. At the end of this round, you're going to have 36 front post double crochets, 36 long double crochets, and 144 double crochets. And I am going to fasten off at the end of this round as well. Moving on to round 13, I have fastened off my coral color and I am going to slip stitch through the top of my first front post double crochet as well as the coral loop with my new color. And you guys guessed it, I am going to be crocheting over my tails. So chain 1 and pull pretty tight. And now you're going to be doing a front post double crochet around the previous round's front post double crochet. Okay. And into these next 5 stitches, you're going to be doing a single crochet. And again, I am going to be crocheting over my tails. Doot, doot, doot. Pull tight. All right. And here we go. And let's do that together. This is going to be your repeat officially. You're going to be doing a front post double crochet around that front post double crochet and then 5 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So at the end of this round, you're going to have 36 front post double crochets and 180 single crochets. Moving into round 14, we're going to slip stitch into the top of that front post double crochet, chain 1, and you're actually going to start in the next stitch putting a single crochet. And go ahead and put a single crochet in the next 4 single crochets. And when you come to the front post double crochet, go ahead and skip over it and do 5 more single crochets. At the end of this round, you're going to have 180 single crochets. And I am going to keep this color for the next round before I fasten off. Moving into round 15, I've got 180 single crochets, and I am going to be skipping over the chain spaces and slip stitching into the top of my very first single crochet. Okay, so then for row 15, we are going to be doing a front post double crochet around. We're going to chain 1 and then do that front post double crochet around the double crochet from 2 rows below. Okay, Then you're going to do 2 double crochets together into the next 2 stitches. So pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, go into the next one, yarn over, pull up your loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3. You're going to skip the middle single crochet and do 2 double crochets together. So go into the 4th single crochet, pull up your loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, go into the 5th single crochet, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3. Okay, then you are going to do a front post double crochet around the front post double crochet 2 rows below. So let's do that together again. You're going to go into the 1st single crochet, yarn over and go into the 1st single crochet, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, go into the 2nd single crochet, pull up your loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over and pull through 3. You're going to skip that middle stitch. You're going to go into the 4th single crochet, pull up your loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, go into the 5th single crochet, pull up your loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3. And you're going to repeat this all the way around, putting a front post double crochet 2 rows below. Okay. And at the end of this round, you are going to have 72 2 double crochets together and 36 front post double crochets. Moving on to round 16, I am going to be swapping out for yellow for this round. And as always, I'm going to be slip stitching through the 1st stitch as well as the loop from before. And I'm going to chain 1 and pull tight. So this round is going to be quite different from any of the other rounds we've done. First out the gate, we are going to go ahead and do a front post double crochet around the previous round's front post double crochet. Then into this space here between our 2 sets of 2 double crochets together, we are going to be doing 3 double crochets together. So chain 1, yarn over and go in, pull up your loop, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over, go back into that space, pull up your loop, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over again, go back into the space, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 4. Okay, chain 1. You're going to do a front post double crochet around the previous round's front post double crochet to complete or to begin your repeat. Okay, then you're going to chain 1 again and do 3 double crochets together into that space again. So pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, go back into the space, pull up your loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, go back into the space, yarn over, pull up your loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 4, chain 1. Let's do it one more time together. Okay, this is what it is going to be looking like though. So go ahead and yarn over and do a front post double crochet around that front post double crochet. Chain 1. Now we're going to do 3 double crochets together in between these 2 stitches. So yarn over, go into the space, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, go into the space, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, go back into that space, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 4, chain 1. And that's going to complete your repeat. Do that all the way around. You're going to be chaining, you're going to be doing a front post double crochet, a chain 1, and then 3 double crochets together into this space here, chain 1. Okay. At the end of this round, you are going to have 36 front post double crochets. You're going to have 36 3 double crochets together and 72 chain spaces. Moving on to round 17. You will notice that I have a small swatch here instead of the mandala. Somehow in post post-production, I deleted row 17's video and I cannot find it. So I worked up a small swatch here, and you guys should have just finished off with round 16 where you had front post double crochets around the previous round's front posts, and then you had the 3 double crochets together in this space here. So what I'm going to do is attach my yarn the same way that you guys would be. You can either stay with the same color or you can switch. I'm going to just be using some other scrap yarn that I had laying around to give you an idea of what this round should look like. So I do apologize. You're going to slip stitch if you're switching out colors the same way that we always have, which is through all 3 loops. Okay, the 2 loops in the top of the stitch as well as the one on your hook previously from your other color, and you're going to chain 1. Go ahead and drop your tail, and what you're going to do for this repeat is you're going to be skipping the front post double crochets all together, and you're going to do 2 double crochets in both of these spaces. So go ahead and do 1 and 2, and then you'll put 2 over here. So do 1 and 2. Let's do that together again. So we're just going to do 2 on either side, 2 double crochets on either side of those 3 double crochets together. Okay, super simple row, and I believe you're going to have 144 double crochets at the end of this round. Okay, so overall it's going to look like this. And then in row 18 I have that part of the video is still stable, but instead of like my other tutorials just explaining it down in the comments, I figured I'd work up a little swatch for you guys so you can still see this visually. But yeah, it's going to be 2 double crochets on either side of the spaces of in either side, 2 double crochets on either side of the 3 double crochets together. If you have any questions about row 17, just drop me a comment. I do have the Studio app, and it notifies me within 4 to 5 minutes, and I can get back to you on how to clarify this a little bit further. But this is row 17. Moving on to round 18. All right, so I'm going to slip stitch into the top of that first double crochet. I'm going to chain 1. And I'm going to yarn over twice, and I'm going to drop down to row 16 and do a front post treble around that front post double crochet. Then in between the next 2 double crochet clusters, we're going to put 5 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And that's going to be a repeat. So let's do it together again. We're going to yarn over twice. We're going to drop down to this front post double crochet, and we're going to do a treble, front post treble. We're going to move over to this space here above the 3 double crochets together, and we're going to put 5 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And that's how it's going to look all the way around. You're going to have 36 front post trebles, and you're going to have 36 of these 5 double crochet clusters at the end of this round. Moving on to round 19, and I will say I wound up undoing this entire row 18 and I found a different color, so I did swap out colors for row 18, so I do apologize if that is confusing. It was the same stitch, all I did is my typical color change though. And so now I'm going to be moving into another color for row 19. I'm going to go back to coral. We're going to do the same type of slip stitch. We pull through the top of the front post double crochet as well as our loop. And so for this round, I'm going to pick up my tail, I'm going to chain 1, and in this round, for round 19, you're going to be putting 2 double crochets in the first, third, and 5th double crochets of this 5 shell cluster. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to go 2 double crochets in the first stitch, I do 2 in the 3rd. And we're going to do 2 in the 5th. Then you're going to be doing a front post treble around the previous round's front post treble crochet. Okay, yarn over twice, go into that area, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. So let's do it one more time together. So in the 1st, 3rd, and 5th, you're putting 2 double crochets. Go into the 3rd. And go into the 5th for 2. And then we'll do a treble, front post treble crochet around that front post treble crochet. And you're going to repeat that all the way around. Okay, you're going to have 36 front post treble crochets, and you're going to have 216 double crochets at the end of this round. Moving on to row 20, I am going to be moving into a different color. So I've fastened off for row 19. Ooh, excuse me guys. And as always, I'm going to be pulling through the top of the first stitch from the previous round as well as the last loop. And pull tight. So I'm going to pick up my tail for my new color. And we're going to be chaining 1. You're going to be doing a front post double crochet around all of your front post treble crochets for this round. Okay, and now in the skipped 2nd and 4th stitch from 2 rows below, we're going to be putting 2 treble crochets. So go ahead and yarn over twice, 3 treble crochets. And you're going to go into that 2nd stitch that we skipped, and we're going to do a treble. So 1, we're going to do a 2nd one into that stitch, and a 3rd one. Let me pull my yarn a little bit. Now into the 4th stitch that we also skipped, we're going to be putting 3 more trebles. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, let's do that one more time together. We're going to do a front post double crochet around that front post treble from the previous round. And then we're going to do 3 trebles into 2 rows below the skipped 2nd and 4th stitch of our 5 double crochet clusters. So 1 treble, 2 trebles, 3 trebles. Now we're going to go into that 4th stitch with 3 trebles again. 1, 2, and 3. So you're going to repeat that all the way around. Okay, and at the end of this round, you're going to have 216 trebles and 36 front post double crochets. Moving on to round 21, you are going to flip over your work to the wrong side, and round 21 and 22 are going to actually be the same exact pattern. We're going to be doing back posts, double crochets all the way around, and so you want to go into the top of this front post double crochet to slip stitch from behind. Again, I'm on the wrong side. I'm going to pick up my loop with the tail behind, okay, and we're going to be attaching our new color. As always, the only difference is you're going to be going through that purple loop first and then into the top of that front post double crochet. So I'm going to pull this tail from the previous row forward, make it nice and tight. And I am going to be knotting these two together to make my life a little bit easier. Okay. Just like this. And then we are going to be doing front post half double crochets into each of these 6 treble crochets, and then we're going to be doing a back post around what was a front post double crochet from the previous round. So go ahead and chain 1, and we're going to just yarn over, go behind that first treble crochet and do a half double. Do that again, half double crochet, half double crochet. You're going to do 6 of these across all 6 of the treble crochets from the previous round. Then you're going to do a back post, so come in from behind. And this is going to be a double crochet. Okay, just like that. So let's do that one more time together. Okay, so yarn over and you're going to do 6 half double crochet front posts. Number 4, and that makes 6. Then do a back post double crochet around, I'm not great at back posts. If this is your first pattern with me, that is not my favorite stitch. So from the front, you're gonna see this, okay? Oops, excuse me. And so go ahead and do that for row 21 as well as row 22, and then I will help you attach this to your hoop. All right, so to get started on attaching this beautiful mandala to our 1¼ inch pipe, as well as getting that pipe together, I did list down below that you're gonna need these 1/8 inch barbs. You usually can get these on Amazon or like a Walmart, or even at some home stores. This is a little bit difficult of a size, so I typically order them off the internet, and they come in a pack of 10 to 15. So what you're going to do is take these and pop them into either end of one of these tubes, and then I usually super glue it for overnight with a gel super glue so that it makes a perfect circle. Okay, and then you are going to take about 14 to 16 of your stitch markers and attach it evenly around your hoop. Okay, and I already have my hook in my stitch that I'm going to get started in, and I'm going to be attaching that with a slip stitch, pulling my new yarn all the way through all my holes there. And because I know that this is going to be the last round for this, I'm just going to tie this nice and tight. I am going to knot it, okay? And so what you're going to do is going to be putting a single crochet into every stitch all the way around, as well as the hoop. And so the way you get started is you're going to slip stitch through that hoop first. Let me show you that one more time. I have my yarn in front of the hoop. This is your first time doing this with me, and you're going to grab that and slip stitch through the slip stitch, and then go ahead and place your first single crochet in that spot. Okay, now I do have some knots. I messed up and I cut my yarn a little too short, so please ignore that ugliness, but I am going to just be placing a single crochet nice and tight around the hoop and into each of my stitches all the way around. This does not matter if you did the smaller version or the larger version. It's just an individual single crochet into each stitch all the way around. When you come up to your stitch markers, you're just going to be removing them, okay? And so complete that all the way around, and then you will weave in your tails, and I'll show you how to heat block it. Okay, everybody, so I have weaved in my ends. I've got my single crochets all the way around my hoop, and this is acrylic yarn, which is technically plastic. So what I'm going to be doing is heat blocking this. And now that all my ends are weaved in, I want to set them. And so I am going to flip over my piece, okay? And I'm going to put my blow dryer on the hottest setting, okay, as well as the highest heat. And I'm going to use my concentrator. So if you have this, this is going to be the best option for you, just so you can get super close and you won't burn the yarn. However, if you do not have one of these attachments, just make sure that you're about 4 to 6 inches above the product so that you don't burn that yarn. And what I'm going to do is pass over the yarn back and forth about 6 to 8 times, and I'll do this 2 or 3 times. I don't want to heat it up too much, so that's why I am going to pass over it about 6 to 8 times, 3 times across the whole piece. And then once I've done that, I'll let it cool for, you know, until the yarn feels cool, and then I'll attach it to the wheelchair. So I hope this helps so that you all can get the effect and that it'll stay taut and all your ends will stay in. That heat from that blow dryer will just melt that yarn just slightly so that it sets and you won't see any tails popping out. So that was the one we made together, and this is the other one. So my socks never match, and now my wheels will match my feet. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in and participating in this absolutely beautiful wheelchair mandala, and I will get it to you next time. Next time we will be doing a pediatric wheelchair wheelbase, so I look forward to doing that with you. Drop all your comments and feel free to tag me or send me emails at picatrix33@gmail.com of your finished products.